Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Batman.
Now let's start the show.
Thank you.
What's the deal with a late life Nintendo Switch? It's like the next generation of game console or something with the ground or whatever. So, like, it's just kind of a thing that's like kind of interesting to think about with, like the Nintendo Switch came out in like 2017. And I'm recording this in like early May of 2022. So the Switch has been out for what is that, 5 years? You think you'd have another system out now? But I know COVID made things weird, so you'd have chip shortages and stuff, and there's been complications there. And also people are still buying the Switch up a lot. It's still a really popular system, and so putting stuff out on it makes sense to keep supporting it. I get that. But it does kind of feel like Nintendo was sort of gearing to have a Switch Pro ready, and then got shit pushed back. Now it's like, okay, well, maybe we can do some of this other stuff instead, right? I really feel like the N64 Classic Edition was probably on the table until these issues started cropping up, and then they're like, alright, we'll push that to just being an online service thing. And it feels like they're trying to add more stuff to that expansion pack service now. They're kind of slowly adding stuff there. They're still slow dripping onto the not virtual console stuff, the online subscription, titles that are available to play. They're revitalizing the My Nintendo stuff finally with actually some physical rewards on there too, even more stuff to do, more missions, things actually integrating the Switch now. They put out the Switch OLED. I feel like a Switch Pro just isn't in the works until that's probably going to be a thing for much later. They probably want to be ready for something like that to be successful. They probably think, okay, well, that'll probably be, also Mario Kart 8 getting DLC. We're talking about the best-selling game on the system, yeah, but a game that they just let be that game for 5 years, and then all of a sudden start putting out some DLC for it now. That seems way, way late to start doing that, and to plan out a slow drip of that as well. So it's what, I don't know, what's the plan thing, I think, is just to try to ride out the Switch for as long as they can until they have to put out a Switch Pro, they feel like, right? Because it's just a thing that's going to take a long time to do. And I feel like a lot of things can change, and so they're going to have probably some ideas that are going to shift as time goes on and things get easier or different or whatever. But it's just a really interesting, what are they going to do? Are they going to keep using the Switch until the Switch Pro? Is the Switch Pro going to be able to play Switch games and Switch Pro? Or is it going to be a move over? Is there going to be some, digital carrying over of stuff? Are they going to re-release stuff there? Is it going to, what is that going to be? Or are they even just going to not do that and just keep putting out different iterations of the Switch? Basically keep doing that and try to do the Microsoft model of trying to be we're going to probably put out this new series of whatever, and so all the games will play on everything, mostly, right? I don't know. It's a weird time, and it's kind of fascinating to see Nintendo ramp up this hard, where they hit the Switch okay, early on, a lot of other people jumped in and helped the Switch, and now we're at a point where it's Nintendo is just alright, we're putting out a bunch of games, more games. We're getting all this stuff out here. I feel also this big rush of content too, probably, and they're starting to do other stuff too, things you can make your own custom icons now. I really feel like they had planned to do something with themes on the Switch, because you have the light mode, dark mode, but it really feels like they should be implementing a thing you can get for new themes. They just recently had a thing where you can put out you can categorize your games on your menu now and actually sort things, features that should have been there earlier that I feel like they were kind of maybe playing with and toying with, but I feel like they had to rush the Switch out a little faster than they wanted to, so some of that stuff wasn't done yet. And now that they realize they can hold on to the Switch longer, and they probably should, and it will benefit them to still do so, when it would be kind of a detriment to try and put out a new system in this, like, current state, right? In the current, like, state of things. I think that, like, this is why we're seeing all the stuff jump out now. It's like, okay, well, we were going to save this for the Switch Pro, probably, but now that, like, we'll have to push that back anyway so much, and we're going to start putting this stuff out now on the Switch, since it would have worked fine on the Switch anyway. It would have been a dual release, if anything. And so they're just really doubling down, being like, okay, we're going to push forward with Switch Pro stuff behind the scenes and wait until we can actually do that more effectively for a launch. And so we'll put out a bunch of stuff now, start, like, really, trying to keep the Switch alive and going so people don't get bored of it or be like, yeah, whatever, the Switch or whatever. Like, people are still excited about it. And it's actually kind of crazy to think about, that people are still like, this system is like how old? It's not like, it's not going to do anything in 4K. Doesn't have any media player on it or whatever, right? It's just, it's a Switch, and people are fucking, like, eating that shit up, and they're still loving it, and it's still, people are getting stuff. A lot of times they'll even get stuff like, I want it on my Switch, I'll have it on my PC or my PS5 or my Xbox Series, whatever. But I'll also have it on Switch because I want to be able to play it handheld too. People will love to have things on the Switch, even if they already own it elsewhere. And so, like, it does make sense to just kind of keep supporting the Switch and doing good stuff with it. And there's really nothing all that wrong with it. It's a little underpowered, sure. But, like, developers, I think, are more dedicated to, like, make things work on Switch because so many people have the Switch. It's such a cool thing that, like, I think that's really kind of helping dictate, like, okay, like, we can't make stuff too crazy, or we have to make a different version for the Switch, and we want to make sure it at least works on the Switch, because we want that sweet Switch money, We want the handheld market in there, which that's as close as we can get unless we throw it on phones and try to get the mobile market, which is a little different. Still kind of sad handhelds aren't a thing anymore, but, like, I don't know. So I just thought it was really interesting, so I just wanted to say things about the Switch towards you, and maybe people will have conversations with me about it in the comments. But maybe not. Usually not. Or, I don't know. Either no one will do it, or someone will have, like, a really techie thing, be like, actually, if you look at it, the trends for these things, it'll be shit that's, like, way beyond anything I can, like, really, know about. Anything I can know about, and I'll be like, oh, that's really interesting, and then I feel like an idiot because I don't have anything to contribute other than, like, yeah, but the Switch is cool though, right? And then they're like, okay, sure. And then they leave. And they're not mad. They're just disappointed. What's the deal with